Hi, I'm Negative Legend, and if you want to know what my pronouns are, you can literally look at my profile on any social media. Guys, it's not that hard. I want you to know first and foremost, the entire reason I am making a video around 16 is because I don't know how many years ago, but I saw a top 10 worst cartoons, and they put 16 on that list, and I have not stopped being angry about that. Did you know this show was originally supposed to be called The Mall? Behold, the original poster, but just very, very small because that's the only image resolution I can find. Welcome to The Mall, an animated situational comedy set entirely in a gigantic shopping mall. The Mall follows our ensemble cast of 6 16-year-old friends as they try to make it through their first part-time jobs and life as a teen. Don't expect to see any teachers or parents in this aspirational show for tweens. The Mall is about the lines of credit and the first taste of freedom. Of course, not every new experience is a positive one. Hate your job? Try trading places with Nikki, a determinedly individual girl who, in what she considers a sick twist of fate, is stuck working at the khaki barn with the clones. Oh wait, this is actually just starting to sound like the show now. But that's seriously how they were describing it. It sounds like less like an overview for the audience and more like how they would word it for a board of suits who want to make a show that's hip. When I was young, as in, before 16 years old, this show set unrealistic expectations for what being 16 would be like. There is no mall that is that big. My friends are basically shut-ins who would prefer to play video games at home rather than go to prom. Yes, that really happened. I didn't want to go to prom either. So that worked out well, actually. We had a lot of fun that night. The characters are all basically all the kinds of people you'll meet in high school. The girl who tries too hard for most everything, a preppy girl who has a rich dad, a coffee addict that is definitely a hipster but is still kind of cool, the idiot jerkwad, and the alternative girl who is more mature because she's been through trauma. Oh, and don't forget the stoner bro skater dude who is the most fun to hang out with, but you doesn't usually have a personality. And in the first episode, they establish why this show is so great.
So, tell me, why do you want to work here, Masterson?
Because I've always wanted to start my own line of snowboarding gear, and I think working here would teach me so much about the retail sports industry.
Because the Gigantoplex is a great place to pick up chicks.
I spend most of my free time here anyway. I figure I might as well get paid for it.
I need the money to go traveling.
Do you guys have like an employee discount?
5 years?
Not working in a mall.
I know where I'd like to see myself tonight.
Rock climbing with some Maori dudes in New Zealand.
In that short amount of time, you get a quick look at each of their personalities in a nice, easily consumable way. After going back to watch this show, it made me realize just how clever this show actually is. What everyone needs to learn when it comes to writing shows is that it's not the premise of the show, it's not the story of the show, and it's not the setting of the show that makes it good. It's the characters. A good character can be in any setting, in any story, and I think that's why 16 was such a strong show.
Isn't it a little early to be shopping for Halloween costumes? No, silly. I got a job.
Why?
I'm gonna prove to Daddy that I can earn my own money. I already know how to make juice. Ah! Oops. I don't think we should hang out anymore, Kate. It's nothing personal. It's just that you're wearing a lemon hat, Kate, and polyester. I don't get it. She was my best friend for like a whole year.
Okay, I hear about people who have a friend for a year and then never see them again, and I don't understand. I'm still friends with the nerds from middle school.
Why don't they ever clean these washrooms? They're totally gag-worthy.
Yeah, like totally.
You know, you're like totally putting the itch in.
Whoa, my little lemon squeezing waif.
Wait, I love doing the joke where you start to say a profanity and then cut away before actually saying it. Holy fuck!
Do you have any idea how uncool that sounded? There aren't even any hot chicks here.
Jerk.
Okay, real talk. Girls let their hair down and they immediately become 20% more attractive, and I want that power so bad. Also, she was hunching and she fixed her posture, and that's a lesson we all need to learn. Posture is always important. Pro tips. So in every season, basically every episode are one-shot episodes. But usually there's some big drama happening, like how Jonesy and Jen's parents are dating in the first season. And Jen is not excited at the possibility of having to live with boys who make a massive mess.
I just can't get into the holidays this year. We didn't want to tell you guys, but Jonesy's dad and my mom are kind of dating. I never would have come if I knew I'd have to sit on the floor.
What's got her creased? Something about me leaving the toilet seat up last night?
I fell in!
It's times like these that I'm glad my sister and I got along really well. But the nice thing is that this show talks a lot about more mature topics, so covering your parents getting divorced and then remarrying with someone else was no doubt really helpful for some kids during that time.
You don't think that if I like Jonesy's dad, it's kind of cheating on my dad, do you? I mean, even though he's gone, I still feel like he's my dad.
I think he'd be psyched to know you have someone cool like Jonesy's dad to be your stepfather. He'd want you to be happy.
But this episode never aired in the US, so screw us, I guess. Or how they set up Jonesy and Nikki to be a couple.
Kung Fu Cop Partners is playing at the Gigantoplex in 10 minutes.
Go to a movie with you? In your dreams.
Unless you're afraid to find out you're wrong.
I'm gonna go to the movie with you just to see your face when that line comes up. Did I just agree to go to a movie with you?
Oh yeah. Would you relax? Why are you being so mean?
Why are you hitting on the clones?
What do you care? You said you wouldn't go out!
I said I wouldn't babysit for... What? You wanna go out with me?
No. Well, I did. Something happened.
Jonesy fell down into Nikki's used toilet water.
It's no big deal.
Are you kidding me? Women are just as gross as men. Women will never be as sexy to you as they once were.
Ha yeah, no, sorry, they're still hot.
I'm gross all the time. All the time! And you accept that. So I can totally accept that you were gross once.
Hey, thanks.
Honestly, Jonesy and Nikki are actually kind of a good couple. And in season 2, they introduce Wayne, who doesn't really add any drama to the show.
I just think they're neat.
This DVD of the ranch hand's revenge skipped, you say?
Yeah, but it was only when the ranch hand was about to kill the bad guy.
You missed the pivotal scene. That's a complete travesty. If I were you, I would demand free rentals for a year. Stand up for yourself, for Pete's sake. What are you, a little girl?
Oh, okay. I demand free rentals for a year.
Oh, sure. Now you're outraged. Do you have any spine at all?
What's funny is that a lot of these episodes and the jokes they make, I appreciate a lot more now that I am over 16. First of all, a lot of the references make sense now, and a lot of the stuff they focus on is focused on just general life that I relate to more. This is one of those shows that's really worth going back and watching because it's like a whole new experience.
But what if he doesn't ask me out?
Then you ask him out.
Do you guys like that?
I think I speak for all guys when I say abso-frickin-lutely.
There isn't a joke. I just want everyone watching to know this because it's true. Unless you're me and you have a panic attack when a girl asks you out. In that case, it's not true. 16 aired in 2004 and lasted all the way up to 2010. And 16 is a Canadian animation produced by Nelvana. And Nelvana likes to copyright claim my videos. I know you're watching. Don't. Please don't. Spare me. Please. And speaking of which, there was a total of 24 episodes that were left unaired in the United States due to references of or some other thing similar to that. They have a whole episode where all the girls are super moody because their cycles synced up.
Okay, one of you needs to give me a tampon right now.
I don't have to do anything right now. I'm on a penalty.
Fine, but don't come running to me the next time Aunt Flo comes to town.
I feel like TV really blows this whole thing out of proportion. But in the same episode, it shows what some girls do when they're having those kind of problems, which is something I wish I could have learned from a TV show rather than having to ask.
Cramp muscle relaxants for me. Tranquil Tide tea for Caitlin.
A pound of chocolate for me.
And tampons for everyone.
Take one pill every 4 hours. Yeah, for normal cramps maybe.
Tampon? Whoa. Right.
Okay, yes! They're tampons! I'm buying tampons! Man, guys can be such squeamish little babies.
Yeah, I never really understood this about guys. But then again, I'm not really a guy. You know what I realized that really makes me sad? The entire concept of this show is outdated. Nobody really hangs out at the mall anymore. There's too many shops that close down, and when you're 16, nobody has money. At least I didn't, and I didn't have any friends with rich parents. And I couldn't spend my parents' money. This is obviously focused more on the idea of the 80s when going to the mall was like a big thing and you just spent like a whole day at the mall.
Okay, if you're right, prove it. It's now 11:54. I bet you $1.
Ha, yeah, that's how you can tell this show is Canadian.
And the gold medal is going to Jen Masterson of Canada.
Or that may be more obvious. The one thing I could never stand about this show is cringing at how bad they mess up with simple relationship stuff. Anyway, none of this was censored. Here's something else that was censored.
You're gonna go on a girly girl date and convince Nikki to get a makeover.
Come on, girls, strut your stuff.
Excuse me, you're blinding everyone in the store with your whiteness.
Everything okay in there?
No, I'm stuck.
Ah, yes. Girls in tight clothes. It's a shame I'm past my phase of being super into cartoon alt girls. So just watch episode 23 if you're still into that, I guess. Oh, who am I kidding? I'm still into it.
A little lower. This is so not worth dying for, dude.
If you'd hold still, I could get your top off.
Yeah, also, they're trying to record it, which is, you know, illegal. That could also be the reason this was unaired, but let's be real, it's just because women aren't allowed to have boobs in America.
The guy from tennis camp?
Uh-huh. She stole him from me. He kissed me, and then she stole him because she had bigger boobs.
It must be hard for you working here. What do you mean? Well, you know, the khaki barn employs child labor in India.
Ugh, yeah, it's disgusting.
I have an idea. Let's go to XS.
The dance club?
It just opened. I hear it's hot.
Yeah, and we don't have ID. We're 16, remember?
Are you guys gonna let a little thing like ID stop you? Voila! You're all officially 21.
That is the coolest thing I have ever seen a girl do.
Right? Can't be giving kids these days any ideas, even though they can learn through the internet or even just at school. But thanks for not airing this. I could have been tempted to break the law because everyone knows that everyone mimics what they see on TV, just like violent video games. Hi there, quick aside, I just want to let you know, I played and beat GTA 4 times. I am one of the least violent people you will ever meet. Just so you know, violent video games do not cause violence.
Jen, your dress, it's kind of not there.
How many times do I have to tell them? It's illegal for girls to have boobs. Real story, there's so many people in high school that look like they could be 30. I know this one dude who I straight up thought was either a teacher or someone on the school staff because he had like a really nice beard, peach fuzz, really short kind of beard, but just enough to know like, oh yeah, he's got a beard. He was bald, he was buff, he was tall, and I had no idea he was a student until he sat down with me at lunch. He wouldn't even be ID'd for things. He was just that convincingly old. Actually, making a fake ID would work with that guy. Wait, no, cut that out. Do not commit crimes.
I'm trying to be gentle. I've never done this before.
Okay, here. Relax your hands. Now start from the bottom. See?
Wow, check it out, it's working. And another thing.
I'm now realizing I never knew Jen had an older sister because almost all the episodes with her were never aired. I also didn't know Jen and Jonesy became step-siblings because this is also the episode where their parents got married. Oh my gosh, the reason there would be random weeks where they would just skip an episode of airing this show, or just shows in general, is probably because they're just not airing it to avoid problems. Oh my gosh.
What's your major?
Oh, well, I'm into major fashion, major shopping, and major retail.
You have such a great sense of humor. Who's that?
Oh, Jen and Nikki are my college girlfriends. We're college roommates living in our college dorm.
You wanna know what's sad? It took me way too long to realize why this episode was unaired. All I thought was, yes, a minor lying about their age to date a hot college student? Yeah, that sounds like something they'd do. And then I realized, oh, wait, that's illegal. There is a scene where they make out, but I am not going to show it. Even though some of these unaired episodes would arguably be helpful to some younger audiences, I'm actually glad they didn't air this one, and this episode does get worse. Also, why does season 2 specifically have so many unaired episodes? And why are so many of them because there is a naked girl?
Well, Jonesy and I were fighting over the bathroom this morning, and he saw me, you know, naked.
These people are canonically minors. Why did they write this? It turns out that during this time period, what the writers were going for is that they noticed that a lot of kids were watching mature cartoons like Family Guy or South Park, and they wanted to try and figure out why that was the case and tailor-make a mature show, but for that younger demographic. Honestly, I want to know why also, because I was so confused why those shows became so popular in middle school. So at least there seems to be legitimate reasons behind the writing. I mean, like, yes, some of the writing, if you really think about it, is gross, but like, people run into those situations. What I don't appreciate is how often they show the characters vomiting. And usually this is the part where I show a mash of several clips, but I'm not going to make you suffer through that because it's gross. Like, the entire reason I stopped watching Tosh.0 is because there was so much vomiting. What was the obsession in the 2000s to 2010s with vomiting? That wasn't fun during that time period, and it's still not fun.
Excuse me, brah, I'm looking for my girlfriend.
Hello, Jude.
Star, is that you?
My name is now Nebula.
Whoa, wait. Okay, the same thing happened to my sister and one of her exes. He started going goth and gave her a CD of Bullet for My Valentine, which is also how I started listening to Bullet for My Valentine.
You should embrace your dread and your inner darkness. Oh, hang on. Everybody, stop. I dropped my retainer.
I know this was supposed to be a joke, but I actually like how it humanizes the goth kids, since people on the outside usually see them as either freaks or people who have godly makeup abilities, when really, they're usually just normal people who are sad.
What did you call me? You heard me. I'm a poser? If you guys are so into death, how come you're all still alive?
Don't push them, Nikki. They're doing everything they can to stay alive. It's not the other way around. Yeah, I wasn't actually happy as a kid. But then I realized my parents are genuinely messed up in their own ways, and after that, I realized I deserved to be happier. And I had friends who were really loyal that I could talk to about my problems, and I worked through my trauma in time. So just saying, it does get better, but only really if you put forth the effort to make it better, because, I mean, like, if you're in a situation like me, like, chances are your parents aren't going to make it better for you. If they aren't making it better now, then what makes you think they're gonna make it better at all? Your own happiness is kind of just dumped in your own hands and from a very young age. Yeah, honestly, I think this was my favorite episode. Now that I think about it, I'm surprised they didn't actually go into like self-harm in this show, because I met so many people who would self-harm. Actually, you know, that's probably because I was like those kind of people, and so we were just drawn to each other. Okay, well, hang on. That makes perfect sense. Okay, I just answered my own question.
It's my sweet 16, Nikki.
Uh-huh. And?
And it's the biggest, most important night of my life.
Can I complain about something? Why don't guys get a sweet 16? My sister had a sweet 16, and I'm 3 years younger than her. So when I was there at her sweet 16, because it was like this indoor water park thing, and it was really fun. I was so freaking hyped about my 16th birthday. And then all my hopes were crushed when they said, hey, you don't get one. I didn't know it was just a girl thing. I legitimately thought my parents was just being very blunt about who is their favorite child. Sweet 16s, from my perspective, are kind of messed up. So while I'm at it, you know which character I hate the most? Caitlyn. How many times is she going to be fooled by Trisha? At a certain point, I stopped feeling bad for her.
Gotta hand it to you. When it comes to shopping, you are a legend. Thanks. I know we've had our differences, but I've still never found a better shopping partner. I'm not big on honesty, but remember how we always planned to have our Sweet 16 parties together?
Of course I do.
Well, I miss you, Kate.
I don't know.
I know I abandoned you because you got that loser job at the Lemon.
Yeah.
And I framed you for shoplifting.
Hey, that's right.
And I wrote awful things about you in the girls' bathroom at school.
You what?
I can't decide whether or not this group of teens are good friends or bad friends. Because the plot usually starts when they are absolutely terrible to each other. And then they fix it by doing some of the nicest things for each other. You know what? No, I'm actually gonna say that they're not good friends, because if they were good friends, they wouldn't be in those crappy situations in the first place. But it makes for some good entertainment.
Aren't you gonna wash your hands?
No, because I didn't pee on my hands, Wyatt. So the real question is, why are you washing your hands?
I want everyone to listen up, because this really pissed me off. Guys, wash your hands. Even if you just went number 1. Have you never heard of splashback? You can't see it, but it's there. And use soap. You aren't washing your hands unless you use soap. I will gladly use my platform to get as many guys to wash their hands. After an impressive run of 4 seasons and some mini-movie episodes, but those were kind of just tied in as regular episodes, the series ended. But in 2018, they actually made a reunion episode. And it only lasted about 8 minutes, but here's what it was.
Want to know what I just did? I just looked up how to register to vote.
Yeah, it's an ad pushing people to vote.
Wasn't there an election 2 years ago?
Oh, yeah. That's the one that made Wyatt cry.
It also made some people move out of the US.
Have you seen what he's done today?
Who?
Trump! He's repealing the gun restrictions!
Wow, they mentioned him by name.
Enough coffee already. Jude!
Sup, dudes?
What? We all knew.
Okay, wait. Nikki, are you seriously not voting?
What's the point? Democracy is broken. No one even debates anymore. All they care about is taking the other party down.
Yeah.
Voting, right?
Yep, I'm gonna make America great again.
Honestly, I'm not even surprised. Jonesy would be a Trump supporter.
Every election, even the midterms, can help change the direction of the country. What's important to you?
Rejoining the Paris Accord.
Good.
Okay, my student debt is giving me nightmares.
You know, I just realized how our politics is. That they weaponize a nostalgic cartoon just to convince people to vote.
You know what your problem is? You entitled millennial maggots don't know what it's like to be at war.
What are you talking about? The majority of us were born when we went to war, and we haven't stopped being at war. This is all we know. It's normal now.
You doofuses know we can't vote in the US election, right? We're Canadian!
Oh, right.
Funny enough, this was the first time I realized this show is from Canada. There is a few reasons that can be attributed to why 16 ended. The first is a natural fall in popularity, which is to be expected for a show that's run for 6 years. It's very difficult for a cartoon series to have like 15 seasons and never die. And even then, you kind of usually want them to after 15 seasons because it's like, oh my gosh, you can only recycle the same jokes. Give the writers a break. The other is that during the 2010s is when Cartoon Network was focused on making live action shows, so they wouldn't be inclined to play, you know, cartoons on Cartoon Network. What's crazy is that during the live action period of Cartoon Network, because I was obsessed with cartoons, I watched so many cartoons, it scared my parents that because one time my dad walked in on me watching Ed, Ed, and Eddie, and I was saying all of their lines as they said it. I watched those shows that many times. And then during the live action period, it was like, wow, this sucks now. I guess I have to do something else. So honestly, it was probably good for me personally, but still, that was dumb. The last reason is most likely because Total Drama Island is actually created by the same person who made 16. Jennifer Perch and Tom McGillis both co-created 16 and were working under Fresh TV. They also created Stoked and GarageBand, which I also want to cover, but I don't know how well this video is going to perform, so if you want me to cover those, share the video, maybe subscribe while you're at it. You're right here. It's an option. But we all know that Total Drama Island boomed in popularity. It's still getting spin-offs today. Chances are 16 ended naturally and they decided just to move on to other projects. Luckily, there is a YouTube channel that has uploaded all of the episodes of 16 for you to watch. Some of them are out of order, so you can have fun with that, but it's there. And remember, Carpe Diem. That means seize the fish.
Later.
Also, the voice actor who played Jude also played Chris McClane. Have fun hearing Jude's voice when you watch Total Drama Island.